If your hands are preoccupied with something and you're being moved in such a way that you might fall face first, they're not going to hold the guillotine. They're going to post their hands on the ground, sort of like a survival instinct, right? We're going for an attack, but as their hips are elevating us and we're falling forward, we post our hands on the ground, we eliminate the threat. Hopefully the bottom guy can turn that into a sweep and stay on top. But again, rotational escape, internal ear pummel, we get that ear to the inside. If we get our head on top, they won't come on top. High elbow guillotine, very few counterattacks from that. If they come to mount, the issue is in the hands, hand fighting out of the strangles to control the hips. If we control the hips, they can't apply hip pressure. They can't get the guillotine finish. When we come up from a half guard position, again, as we covered in the arm and guillotine, we can walk straight into a guillotine. We covered previously how controlling the lower half guard leg can get you out of trouble from the submission threat. That's going to be true with a high elbow as well. It'll be less true because, as I stated previously, you can be finished with a high elbow from top side control. What we're going to do in this section is a quick refresher on controlling the lower leg and how we can use them hanging onto a submission under bottom side control. We can turn that into what's called a von Flue choke. So a little bit of information about the von Flue choke. Obviously it was named after a grappler. It was named after an MMA fighter. And I believe it was the Ultimate Fighter Season 2 who was catching people by surprise with it. From my understanding, from watching the show at the time, no one had really ever seen someone use that submission so effectively. And I believe he hit it a few times in professional MMA fights. Thus, it was named the von Flue choke. Obviously, everyone's dream is to get something named after them, right? In more recent history, you can watch OSP, Ovens St. Preux. I believe he's hit it 4 times in MMA fights. I think he even is trying to rename the move after himself, but most of us will always remember it as the von Flue choke. The von Flue choke is a good lesson people learn early on in their grappling career, is that there's a reason your coaches tell you don't hold on to the guillotine under side control. Obviously, when you start out early, you catch guys under side control. Like I said, I told the story about how I caught someone under side control. But again, you have to get the hips facing away. If the hips are facing in, you can get caught. It's actually quite a scary submission. It's a reason why referees, and that's MMA referees and grappling referees, need to be well trained, because guys can go to sleep in bottom side control there, and the referee won't even notice it. I've seen it numerous times in grappling competitions where the guy's actually unconscious for a long time before the referee even notices. But let's talk about how it might come up. So I got Nick Ortiz there. We're gonna come up from half guard, right? If I just come up recklessly in half guard, take an underhook, Nick can still start throwing in a guillotine. You can see he's got an arm in guillotine here, or he could throw in this high elbow position. If I get stuck, there is a chance he finishes me here. He applies the right pressure, he gets the finish. But most likely is I come up, he dives on it, and I get submitted very quickly there. Obviously, that was very tight choke. He probably would have thrown the other leg around my back, but yeah, high elbow comes on very quick. Something we can do to mitigate the risk is this lower leg here. We always want to be able to catch it, hook it, and shift our leg underneath. This is the type of positioning we want here, right? So when we're in half guard, we want to hook the lower leg, hit a back heel on it, do a lower leg shift, so that way we're not coming up directly into the leg. If we've completed this and we come up, Nick can still grab a high elbow, but when I come on top of him here, I'm coming clearly into side control. Obviously, like I said, Nick can still finish it here. He gets the tap, but if we do a hand in pocket pummel, so we'll change the angle here. Nick's got the high elbow, hand in pocket, come over the top. Once we're over the top, the submission threat is eliminated. Most intelligent grapplers here will let go of the chin straps and concede side control. I say most, but obviously the amount of intelligent grapplers, you could probably count on one hand, right? So what we can do is we can actually submit them out of here. I'm going to take a deep, deep cross-face grip. My other hand is going to come and it's going to be palm facing the sky. I'm going to lean my cross-face into neck and I put my head on the floor. I'm taking my hips from square to the top hip. I'm facing my outer hip to the sky. This allows me to put more weight into the crossface and I can start to walk into neck here. And we get that tap. So without neck here, we've come up, hand in pocket freestyle movement. We throw it over the top. We get our other hand and we connect. I lift my hips off the ground. I lift my knees off the ground. If my knees are on the ground, my knees are bearing the weight of my body. If I lift my knees off the ground, now my upper body is. If I turn my outer hip to the sky, it puts even more of a concentrated pressure into my crossface. And we start to walk while we sink body weight into the crossface. Another good trick we can do is, what I'll try to do to people from this position is, I want you to see if Nick's got a chin strap and I'm loose with my elbow, he can easily remove the chin strap. But if he takes the chin strap and I bring my elbow and shoulder in, now we cannot remove that chin strap very easily. Obviously, I couldn't hold him here forever. I'm using my shoulder and I'm bringing this elbow and shoulder across and keeping everything tight here. Doing